So I got asked what I thought about Bill Laimbeer saying that he would pick Isiah Thomas over Allen Iverson as point guard and the sizes and everything like that. What was my take? I ain't got no problem with that. You know how I feel about Zeke. I told you, Zeke is one of the most disrespected all time great players. What gets Zeke in problems is that he still run his mouth about Jordan, knowing that Jordan was a better player. And knowing that yes, the Pistons had a team that could beat them, but and I will say this, Isiah Thomas was probably the greatest influence on Michael Jordan's career more than Magic and Bird because you had to toughen up and you had to take that. And you know what they always say, to beat the best, to be the best, you got to beat the best. And also on top of that, you got to take what their philosophy. Took a lot of Chuck Daly in that style. But Jordan, make no mistake about it, was a better player. It's just that it's unfortunate that Zeke as a point guard and being from Chicago and all the implements that's involved gets left off of the list of what his impact was. Because I will say it like this, it's no real contest. I know Iverson won scoring titles and he played hard and he was a cultural imprint, if you will. After Jordan, Iverson's styling was probably the next most influential. I get all that, the streets. I get that. I ain't going to get an argument from that. But we're strictly talking about on the court. Zeke's got him beat. And I'm going to tell you something. 40 years ago, the highest scoring game ever with the Pistons and the Nuggets, a lot of people don't remember when him and Kelly Trapuka was the backcourt. Isiah could have done Iverson's career. He just wouldn't have won nothing. He could have done that. He could have done that. I got another video coming out where y'all think I'm going to be dropping rain on Iverson's head. I'm from VA. I got much respect. As a matter of fact, I used to live around the corner from that bowling alley where that whole episode went down. So I'm familiar with everything in Bethel High, Hampton High, etc. But I got to call it like I see it from my opinion. Great player, one of the greatest players, competitors, and all that. But he wasn't no Isiah Thomas. Zeke took over games. Zeke was strong willed. That 88 finals on one leg against the Lakers, which you could make the case they got robbed by the refs, could have easily three-peated. Went to four straight Eastern Conference Finals in a more competitive era, mind you, than what Allen Iverson went through in the East. The East was considered the least, and it was a joke. That's when Jason Kidd and the Nets went back to back the next year, and he never led another team again. He had Dikembe, rest in peace, as a center, a defensive player of the year, rookie, had the six man of the year, coach of the year, and all that. So I don't want to hear nothing about. I mean, as an individualized player, that was one of the knocks against him because he didn't figure in and teaming up like Isiah did. That's why it's no contest to me. Zeke could do everything. He could have scored more points. Had incredible handles too. A lot of people sleep on his skill set. My knock against Isiah is the same as some people. I'm tired of him talking about Jordan. I'm tired of talking about you lost that and you know what you want to do. Laimbeer always like to throw in LeBron better than Jordan. They do that on purpose because they know good and well they wouldn't have had to have no LeBron rules. All they had to do was get some onions and make him cry and roll over. Couldn't do that with Jordan. You had to play rough and physical. Don't LeBron would not have been built for what Jordan went through to get through them Pistons. And that was one of the best defensive teams and one of the best teams of the 80s. And I got much respect for the bad boy Pistons because Rodman and everything and Mahorn and Sally and Buda Edwards. Laimbeer was all right, you know. They was with Aguirre and everybody that came through there. But I seen Isiah Thomas change his game from where it was originally to what he became to be a champion, him and Joe Dumars. So I know how great he was. And I know that Iverson could hold a candle to him. Because once we get past the offensive and the ankle breaks and the moves, Zeke would have filled him out. Couldn't contend with Isiah Thomas on the other end. Zeke had two. Zeke did Iverson in that finals against the Lakers on one leg when he scored all them points. So come on now. You're a 6'1" point guard and you going up against Magic with 6'9" and all the sizes and all that, and you're carrying the team on your back. That's not even up for discussion. So I give Laimbeer that. And Isiah Thomas definitely belongs, in my opinion, in that one of the 25 greatest players ever. I don't have Allen Iverson ranked that high. Just saying. You got a problem with it, we can discuss it. Because once we get past the scoring titles, and he got to the finals appearance and league MVP, which could have been split with him and Shaquille O'Neal as far as I'm concerned. Once we get past that, yeah, first ballot Hall of Famer and the cultural impact. What was he doing better than Isiah Thomas? Do tell. Because if you're going by points, it didn't translate into dubs. And again, the East when Iverson was running things was not near as competitive as what Isaiah went through. I understand Isaiah's gripes because they had to get through one of the greatest teams ever in the Celtics when he was coming along. That Sixer team was getting a little bit old, and Andrew Toney's body gave out, but you still had a competitive Sixers team. You still had a competitive Milwaukee Bucks team. You had a Atlanta Hawks team with Dominique Wilkins, which could be a threat to two couple rounds. You had the Pacers team that was there. You had the Knicks. So don't sit here and act like they were just, some people can hold that against the Lakers in the West because there's only like 1.5 teams out there. But in the East, you had to get in where you fit in. There were some dogs. So he doesn't get his due for being a leader and a point guard. That's why Jordan said the second greatest, he had him behind Magic. He gave him his due. He did. So if he puts him in there with Magic after Magic, of course he's better than Iverson. That's not even up for discussion. To me, it's no contest. For some others, they're getting their feelings. But I agree with Laimbeer on this one. I don't always agree with him on much, but this one is a no-brainer to me. I seen them both play. My problems with Iverson, he ball hogged sometimes, and he was trying to do too much, and he didn't facilitate enough and get teammates involved. Zeke always understood the moment. Well, when you go to 3 finals and you win 2 out of 3, there's a big different trajectory to your career to someone. Because I tell you, I bet Iverson would trade one of those scoring titles for what Isiah Thomas has got. Then if you were to switch careers, Iverson would have been almost considered in the top 15 ever if he had Zeke's resume. That's the difference in the flip. But Zeke ain't gonna never get that due, despite being one of the 5 greatest point guards ever. And I can clearly see his impact on the Splash Brothers, clearly, and on Jordan and Pippen. I tell all the time, he just wasn't, the scoring and his talent with the guys that enabled what they had. But make no mistake about it, he was a pit bull. And he got Iverson beat. It's not up for discussion with me. Once you get past the crossover and the style points, it's Zeke all the way. And he had a nasty handles himself, which doesn't get talked about enough. Because he downplayed it so he could win games. He could have been as flashy as Kyrie. It could have been as potent as Curry to an extent in the inside tier, because he definitely had crazy floaters. And he could have been like Iverson. He could have done, because he was a precursor to that. He just held back to get the teammates involved. They took a whole different cadence. So if you saw the Pistons in 84 to what they morphed into 89, 90, you see what happened. Please like, subscribe, welcome thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands, keep your mind clear, watch out for another. Share the video if you like, hit that membership. Stay blessed, stay real, stay full, stay you, stay woke on my one time. Peace.